I think it was good. I think it was, the old expression, don't get too high when you're high and don't get too low when you're low, kind of rings true a little bit after the weekend. I thought Friday did a lot of good things, continued to build on our previous weekend. I thought really solid out there. And then Saturday, not so much. I thought for the first period on Saturday we were okay till we made one mistake with about 2 minutes left that cost us for a goal, and then we weren't very good in the second and third period. So I think you got to take the positives from Friday night, and then we got to work on the stuff that we need to improve on for Saturday night. So a little bit of good and bad.
Yeah. Does it feel differently coming out of it than maybe you would have gone into it? I'm sure that you get told last Friday morning that, hey, you're going to get out of this weekend with a split. You might feel pretty good about that, but then to play as well as you did Friday and have the weekend end the way it did, does the split feel different on this end of it, as if you'd have known maybe that's what you're going to get going into it?
I think so. I hope it does. I think the mindset we want to develop as a team is, the good programs know how to win back to back. They know how to follow up a good performance on Friday with another good performance Saturday, and we're not quite at that level yet. But we're yet is the key word. I think we're aspiring to be like that. So it's not easy. It's not easy to play a game like we did on Friday, where everybody's playing well. Everybody's executing, playing the game the right way, and that's so demanding on your body and your mind to play that way. And you could see it on Saturday. We did video yesterday with the guys on just what's not good enough, and they know it. I mean, the elite athletes want to be held accountable, and they want to be corrected and coached. The mediocre athletes have a tougher time accepting those standards, I'd say. And fortunate for us, we have a lot of elite athletes that want to be coached, they want to be corrected, they want to show what the right thing is to be done. They know when they're not doing the right things, and it's our job as coaches to hold them accountable to that. So we did that yesterday. We learned from our mistakes, and you could see on Saturday we weren't mentally ready to go and we weren't physically ready to go. And North Dakota was, and as you said, I mean, when you go into a weekend splitting with the number 6 team in the country, that's a good thing. But also, we can't be satisfied with that either. We have to, when you have that great a game on Friday, you have to try to do something really special and come away with a sweep on Saturday. So guys are a little bit disappointed, but again, it's a new week now. We gotta maintain a positive attitude here, have some enthusiasm for practice this week, and we got another ranked opponent coming in here this weekend. So can't dwell too much on your last game.
Right. Before we move on to that, though, when you look back at that second period on Saturday night, and given you're killing penalties, some of it, so that, you can't really expect offense to come out of that. But I guess, how do you, in hindsight, go back and keep a period from coming about where you go until you don't get a shot off until the final second of the period? It just seems, I guess, kind of extreme, considering the way you had been performing to that point.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's you throw in an NHL game last year and Oilers lost 7-0 in one of their playoff games. How do you explain that? They won the series. So I think that's a little bit of hockey. Sometimes you're gonna get pinned in your own end. The one thing I think North Dakota does extremely well is when they have some momentum. They're maybe a momentum team. Like they really, the building gets going, things like that. It can be a little bit intimidating. But again, if you watch our video, we just weren't good enough in any aspect of the game. I mean, we didn't compete hard enough. We weren't ready to go mentally. We're making wrong decisions out there. So you combine those things all at once, you're going to end up with one shot in the period. So the good thing about it is that our guys are seeing that through video and what they're learning when they do things the right way, and are consistent at that. You have a chance to be good, and when you don't, that's what happens. You get one shift, and it's a little bit embarrassing. So again, these guys are high-level athletes. They don't want that to happen. They know the mistakes they made, and we as a staff have to help them with that as well. So. But yeah, reflecting on that one period, it's not good, and nothing was good enough about it. And there's no excuses. You got to be better. Everybody's got to be better. Staff's got to be better. Players got to be better, and that can't happen.
I know I kind of asked you about this on Saturday, and I guess it just got magnified a little bit yesterday with Evan winning the goaltender of the week in the league and everything like that. And I think anyone that's followed the season kind of understands why it's at the point and why there maybe isn't a clear-cut number one as of yet. But when you're going into that, is that a decision that you've already made going into the week? And does Friday night's result impact the way you play Saturday? I mean, have you decided before you go that, like, we're going to give them each one this week? And
I think you have a I never say this is a definite decision before, but I think going into after the weeks of practice and goalie sessions, you have an idea of what you want to do on the weekend, and I think that's an idea. And I think obviously the outcome on Friday plays a huge factor in your decision for Saturday as well. So again, I think the positives of it are Evans had 2 really good back-to-back games, and I think it's nice for him to build a little bit of confidence, and hopefully eventually here he can show he can do 2 in a row here and really give us a chance to win on both nights. And Chris has been a lot better, I thought, his last couple of games too. Again, I don't think he had much help on Saturday night. I think if Evans in net on Saturday night, it's the outcome isn't a lot different. So again, it's again, you got to we're trying to build that competition a little bit between the two of them. Also build some confidence in them a little bit as well, where they're able to build some confidence, because our goalies have to be at a certain save percentage for us to have a chance to be successful in the second half. And they've both been working hard at their games here in the second half, and so we'll just keep seeing how that plays out a little bit.
Yeah, I think the reason that it becomes a big deal is just because as long as you're hovering around 500 and sitting at that spot in the pairwise, then it seems like everyone that gets away, whether it's a tie against Arizona State or what happened on Saturday after the way you played on Friday, it just seems like those all get magnified as you go down when you look back and you're like, wow, one here or one there. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the nature of the conference we live in, and the level of competition we face on a nightly basis. That is what it is, right? So, but we've also tried the other thing in the first half too, and it hasn't been successful either, right? So again, it's about finding that right combination of who's going and who can back up 2 solid games, or who can rotate and get a win. So again, it's a bit of those guys haven't made a clear-cut, easy decision for the staff on every given night, and the good thing is they're working at it, and they're going to keep getting better, and we believe in either one of those guys, and we just got to give them a chance to play well in front of them.
The nature of your schedule is that you have those couple of teams every year that you only see once, and those happen to fall on back-to-back weekends this year. And as you mentioned many times, that there isn't any series that's not a big series. Are these more important when you know that you're only going to get a team in one series, and to take as much advantage as you can in those situations? Yeah,
I mean, just for my mindset going into any weekend, like you just said in your previous comment, there's no game that you can afford, because you're, like you said, at the end of the year, you'll be looking back and saying, man, I wish I could have got that one, or took that one a little bit more seriously. So we just every Monday is a new Monday, and we take that opponent extremely serious. And whether we play them once or twice or 3 times or 4 times, it doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously the teams you're going to see again for a second half, you keep a detailed notebook on what you saw the first time you played them, and you have files on them, and you have your video stored, and you know their tendencies, all that stuff. So the second time you play them, you're ready to go. But other than that, as you commented earlier, there's just no wiggle room here. It could be one win that who knows against 2 that makes the difference for your season. So you have to have that mindset every game.
Yeah. That being said, how good does that win over Notre Dame look right about now?
Yeah, again, Again, if you look back to kind of what we're capable of doing at times is good. Nice to see that some of the things, and I think the most important thing for the players to see that too. Like when you watch our video from Friday against North Dakota, and you show what we're doing well, all the positives, and then you show what we did on Saturday, there's an extreme difference in the two things, right? So it's nice for them to get that buy-in. They're understanding what it takes, and they're understanding the level of attention to detail and that it takes to do that on a back-to-back basis. Now that's the key. Now can you do that consistently? And that's not something you can just flip a magic switch and do. You gotta grind it. You gotta work on it, and then eventually it will be there for you. So again, reflecting back to, I think Notre Dame hasn't lost since then, right? So again, that's just something to be proud of as a group, that you're able to. And I thought Saturday we were just as close to beating those guys too. So again, it is what it is, but obviously that's a big win for us for the pairwise.
What are you expecting this weekend? Not necessarily out of your group, but with your opponent coming in and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Miami is a good team. They had a ton of freshmen last year, so now they're 1 year more experience with a bunch of guys. And again, they just beat Denver. That's a defending national championship. So obviously they're playing good hockey, and they're ready to roll. They're in they're ranked opponent now, and so they're going to be tough. They got some skilled forwards. They got some bigger D-men. They really get a lot of pucks in net. I think they have a high shot total most games. like to work the cycle down low. They initial outnumber you in the D zone coverage, so it's going to be a challenging opponent for us too. But we'll be ready for the task.
Coach, what would be some of the factors in Luke Nogard's rise on the score sheet? We always knew he had the great energy, but what would just be some of the characteristics that he's brought to this very special senior year?
Yeah, I think a little bit of opportunity meets preparation. Probably, he again, like when you look at players and you evaluate players, for me, there's 4 or 5 different categories that you evaluate a player in, and one of those being, I call it compete and courage, and he's a 5 in that category. I don't see too many guys that work as hard as he does and compete as hard as he does, and it's such a huge part of the game now because everybody's so good. So in order to score nowadays, you have to be highly competitive. You have to get in the inside of the areas and ice, where he's scored probably 6 out of his 6 goals have been probably within 5 feet of the net. And he's a big, strong kid. So, he's an interesting kid. He just, he wants more. He wants to keep working hard, and he just works and works and works. And he's a guy you're just thinking, man, I can't take this guy out of the lineup, because I think he's one of the few guys on our team that's very, very hard, very strong, very gritty, highly competitive. I don't know if you watch from up top, and how many battles does he go in and he doesn't come away with a puck? Not very often. I think he gets that puck probably 85% of the time. That's not common. So I think all those things are kind of combining to the tune. He's getting in the front. He's getting in the front of the net. He's going to those hard places that aren't fun to play in, and he's getting rewarded for it. And you got to have guys in your team like that to contribute that secondary offense. And he's doing a great job this year. So we're proud of him. That's for sure.
How hard is it? I guess in any sport you could say that, but hockey is such a Friday and Saturday back-to-back deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more mental to put together 2 good games in a row, or is it physical, or a combination of both?
Yeah, I think combination of both. I think, though, when you watch our video on Saturday, we weren't mentally ready. For me, off of face-offs gives a good indication on if you're ready to go or not, because everything's equal. It's equal for both teams. So if your knees are bent, are you on your toes? Do you know what you're executing? Do you know what they're doing, trying to do? Do you know what you're trying to do? And to me, that's kind of mental preparation. And then just even your reads coming back. And we were offside a couple times on Saturday too. I think that's just a little bit lazy, just not stopping. And and like we talked about, it's a learned behavior to be consistently good, and that's something we got to keep working at it, and that starts in practice, and that starts in how we communicate with our guys and how we hold guys accountable, and teach our guys to have that resiliency to be mentally tough enough to handle 2 back-to-back extremely hard. We want to beat some of the teams in our conference. Like, you got to play almost perfect, and we probably did that on Friday. And to do that twice in a row, you be perfect 2 days in a row. It's not as easy as doing it one time, but we got to do it. We want to win hockey games, we got to do it. So it's something we got to keep educating our guys on, helping them prepare, and that's our job as a staff. We got to be better on Saturday nights too. We got to find out ways to help them be prepared so they're more mentally sharp. What can we do to help them out as well? So it's again, I always come back to, we're all here for the same reasons. We got to help them out just as much as they got to help us out. So that's something we're continuing to work on, and that's all you can do. You just got to keep working on it.
Mike, you might have touched on this earlier, but just your thoughts on special teams over the weekend, especially with kind of the new roles given the injury situation. Just kind of what did you take away from both nights?
Yeah, I thought on Friday night we were good. I think they went 0-4 on their power play, and I think we had a couple power play goals. So again, you need your special teams to change the momentum of the game a little bit for you, whether it's so I thought on Friday night it helped us. I think we got a 2-1 lead with that power play, and then boom, made it 3-1. So now you got a 2-goal lead and a tough building to play against. So that was really important. Then our penalty kill came up with a couple of big kills. And then on Saturday, again, it was not quite as officiated quite the same way as it was on Friday there. And I think they ended up getting quite a few more power play opportunities, and they capitalized on their opportunities, and now you're chasing kind of thing. So again, it's something you got to work on every week. You got to be sharp on that, and I think it gives especially with our type of team, gives us a huge advantage when our special teams are clicking.
I can't remember any time where 7 of the 8 teams are in the top 20, the other one's knocking on the door. That just solidifies that everybody knows this is the toughest league in the country, isn't it?
I think so. I think unfortunately you don't have time to appreciate that as much because you're the one playing against them on a every night basis. So again, I think told you guys earlier, I had a conversation with my gramps with a break, and he said that will get you better in a hurry. And he's right. I mean, your players have no choice. The staff has no choice but to work and work and work and work some more and find ways, either little tiny increments to get better, because that's the difference right now. And so it's great to get that opportunity as a staff and as a team that, I mean, this is where you want to be in. You want to be a professional hockey player. You want to be a top-notch program. You got to find ways to get better. And when you face opponents every single weekend like that, there's no days off. So it's been good from a personal development standpoint for me. And for our players, it's been tremendous to play in this tough a conference.
Does that make it easier, and I know it starts with you guys as coaching staff, but also the players, to not worry about what is going on around the NCHC, because you just know the bottom line is it's good. There's going to be teams that are going to beat each other every weekend, so that just allows you guys just to focus on that opponent you have each weekend.
Yeah, I think that's a good comment though, because you can get caught. You can get caught saying, okay, how many wins do we got to get to be here? Okay, and I think it serves you no purpose because it's so tough, and if you don't focus all your energy on your opponent that weekend, you'll be doing the math next week on how do you got to get back into it. So like you said, we try to, we tell our players all the time, don't compare yourself to other people. I don't think it serves you a good or a bad purpose. If you think you're better than somebody or not as good as somebody, focus on yourself, be a good teammate, and focus on getting better. And that's what we do too with our guys. Just kind of, hey, flashlight at your feet, just one step at a time. Don't start tripping if you point the flashlight too far ahead of you. So just kind of that's kind of our motto. Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, a lot of teaching moments out of that film from Saturday, but that's done now and that's behind you and moving forward. Is that the message now?
Yep.
With you and your assistants?
Yeah, we do. We did it on Monday. So we did it yesterday. We did Saturday's review on Monday, but also too that's not good enough. I mean, as much as we had a good game Friday, it's still not good enough on Saturday, and the guys know that. But again, our job as coaching staff is to hold these guys accountable. And if we just blow it off like, hey, that's one bad one, and we're just going to be a little better. Sure, you got to not dwell on it, but you also got to correct. You got to teach. You got to learn from it. You got to get better. You got to show some things that that's not good enough. And then boom, now we're on today. Now we're on to Miami and gearing up for the next 3 practices for those guys. So I think it is good to reflect back, both positive and negative, just like we do when we play well. We still would go over the stuff we did well, and if we didn't do things good enough, that unfortunately got to talk about those too a little bit. So that's kind of our motto, is to make sure we learn from that and hold guys accountable and then just get better.
Feels good. I mean, obviously it's not just me. Our team's been playing outstanding there. It's been a lot easier on me, so it's good to see that. But yeah, it feels good to kind of feel comfortable in the net and kind of have multiple games in a row where I can look back and say, like, those were solid games for me. So yeah, it's a good feeling, and to get rewarded by the league, I mean, it's always a good feeling too.
I'm sure that you would rather just be in the now and sort of go back and reflect, but you'd mentioned going into the break that you didn't feel like your first half was probably up to the standards that you wanted. I guess, is there anything that in hindsight led to that now that you seem to be on the back end of it?
Not really. I mean, everybody goes through rough stretches, and I think maybe it was just a transition period for me, just getting used to playing with behind the system and maybe being a little almost too comfortable that way. But I think the break was really good. I got to go home, kind of reset and kind of relax and just say that's behind me now. It's a new half of the season. Our team's in the top 20 pairwise, so I think that was a really good break for me, and obviously it's been going well as we came back strong the last couple of games here.
Yeah. I haven't really asked you about this, but with the transition with the staff, you actually had a change in position coaches too, and you've been with Lee the first couple of years, and Peter's kind of taking over now. Has that been different for you at all? Has preparation week to week been any different than before? And I guess how does that transition affect your game?
The goalie coach part has been a pretty good change. I mean, Lee was great. He would always come out with us early in the morning. He'd get 7 o'clock ice for us and help us work on the little things. But Pete's been really good. The video sessions we do are always really good. We tailor our drills before practice here for things that we need to work on that we see in the video that, like, okay, we acknowledge that and we got to make sure we work on that and get better at it. So Pete's been really good that way, and I think just the whole coaching staff understands the position a little more. And with having Pete as an assistant coach and a former professional goaltender, I think it's a really good guy to have around just for our sake.
I'm not trying to leave you out.
No, it's all right.
We're rolling with something here, though. One last thing. After you have a performance like you did the last couple of Fridays, and I get that some of that might have been dictated even the week before, is it discouraging for you to not get the start again on Saturday when you have done that in the past? And I guess how does that affect your mindset going into the following week, knowing that everybody probably wants to play every single night and your position only won that game?
I mean, you just go into it every night, like, as if you're going to play. And even when coach tells me I'm not going to play, I always got to be ready just in case. You never know what's going to happen. But after a game like Friday, you're riding a pretty good high, and the team was riding a pretty good high. And honestly, I can't argue with coach's decision. I mean, it worked on the weekend against Union. So when he tells me that I'm not playing at Oldie is, I'm supportive of Oldie. I'm supportive of the team because, I mean, we can still get 2 wins in a row that way. So it is nice to play the 2 games in a row, especially when you're starting to feel that way. But, I mean, night in, night out, I just got to keep working hard, and it doesn't really affect how I feel going towards the next weekend.
Thank you. Tyler, just from a guy that played both nights standpoint, how'd you feel coming out of that weekend, knowing how well Friday went and how discouraging Saturday had to be right after that?
Yeah, it was definitely a bittersweet weekend, but yeah, we thought we played almost our best game on Friday, and the score reflected it, the video reflected it, and almost a complete 360 there going into Saturday or after Saturday, where we thought we maybe played our worst game. So, we're not happy, but getting 1 win is always huge going into Grand Forks, and we just got to keep climbing the standings and try to find that consistent.
I know that it's obviously a team game, and more than one thing has to go wrong for it to go from your best to your worst. Looking back, do you see anything that stood out from that Saturday night where, like, okay, did it start here, or was it just kind of off?
Yeah, I wouldn't really pinpoint one exact thing, but Friday we were trying to preach, being physical and having a lot of energy, and I think the first period reflected that on Friday night, and Saturday night we just didn't have that physicality, and if you were to pinpoint one thing, I think that's what it was. We weren't finishing our checks. We weren't tracking as well as we should have been. So, just finding that consistency, like I said, and doing that every night. And once we do that, I think the results will be different.
How far into the season does it get to where it doesn't become finding that, and it becomes like, okay, this is who we are. Maybe we aren't consistent, and how do you dial that in, knowing that week after week after week is going to be similar? You're going to face a team that's probably ranked, probably pretty good, and as you've said many times, that you don't feel splits are going to be good enough for you.
Yeah, I think it's getting to that time where it's not a learning period anymore. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. Everyone should be on the same page. So I think the next couple weekends are huge for us, and once we find that consistency, I think we're going to roll with it. And like I said, we just got to keep climbing the standings, and again, trying to get 3 or 6 points every weekend. So
when you get into the nitty-gritty part of the year like this, where you're facing ranked foes every week, how much do you feel like it's on your line to kind of lead the way? Not only because you guys are the most experienced players, but I guess anyone that looked at your team from the outside would say that's your most dynamic line. And this year, for whatever reason other than outside of Denver, there doesn't seem to be like a ton of other really established top lines like that. I guess what's kind of the mindset for the 3 of you going forward is seniors and guys that kind of proven themselves over time?
Yeah, every night we feel like we got to kind of take over, and 5-on-5 it hasn't really been that way, but power play, we've done our fair share, and we're happy with that. But we just got to keep working on our 5-on-5 play, and once that starts coming, the other lines will start doing it, and they're already doing it. The other lines are playing very well 5-on-5, and But yeah, once we kind of mesh better 5-on-5 and kind of get in a groove, I think we'll feel a lot more comfortable.
How much does that help you guys, just taking the pressure off, you know, to feel like maybe you don't have to be like X points a game from your line every single week to be able to get that other production? Because, I mean, we were looking back at this series last week, and like North Dakota even came out of that series where their leading goal scorer was 6. And not to just point out Luke, but Nogard now has 6. For you to be able to get that kind of production out of him and Keck and Jordan and those kind of guys this year, how much has that helped you guys to kind of just relax and play your game and know that, like, you know, this isn't on just us?
Yeah, it's been awesome. You know, every night we're going against their top line, and you know it's tough stuff, and that gives, you know, the other lines an opportunity to come and play. And I mean, they've done a great job. And this past weekend, I don't think there was a time we were on the ice without Gardner's line out there. So you know, it's good to see Tristan, Jordan, Nogi getting those chances and putting it in the back of the net. And yeah, it does take pressure off our shoulders and helps us you know, calm down a bit. But yeah, they're just playing their game, and they know they can do it.
Evan, as a goalie, you like to get the action, get into the groove pretty quickly. Because it seemed to happen Friday night. I know you stopped mishmash pretty quickly with, I thought, was a real nice save early on, 16. And is that a good thing to have happen for a goalie?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the quicker you kind of get the couple shots to get into the game, the better. And there was a few in the first period, especially we had that first power play, and they had 2 2-on-1s come down. But Joel had 2 unbelievable defensive plays to make it so that they didn't get a single shot. But those were big because obviously in the first period in a rink like that with the fans that they have, if they score one or even both of those, it can be pretty demeaning to the team. But yeah, it was good to get those couple shots early and a couple chances where I got to make a big save and kind of give us a little momentum, and a couple big plays by Mezzi kind of kept that momentum going and gave us a chance to go into the second period tied, and then obviously the second period we kind of took over scoring wise.
Coach mentioned that you guys had, both you and Oldham had really kind of improved your preparation, just like from maybe the start of the season to where you are right now, like just on a day-to-day going into the weekend, what maybe has changed for you personally?
Personally, I think it's just been focusing on the details a little bit more. With Pete out there, it's been he really harps on the little things, and him and Kirk, especially, well, me being around Kirk for this is my 3rd year having him as a part of the team, and he knows my tendencies. He knows kind of how I play, so it's really nice having him and Pete kind of harping on the little things and making sure that I'm focused on those and make sure I'm kind of getting better every day that way. So it's definitely been about the details and just kind of making sure I come to practice kind of ready to go, focused on every shot and just working on getting better.
Yeah, Tyler was one of the leaders too, going into Friday and Saturday. You've been in that building when you guys have been able to silence them, but also know what's coming next night. Was that talked about a lot after the win, or was it more just kind of enjoying the moment, just kind of turning the page when you woke up on Saturday? Just kind of how do you guys approach that?
Yeah, it was more kind of enjoy that night, and we know we had to kind of turn the page going into Saturday, but I mean we all knew they were going to come out hard, and we were just kind of preparing to stay with them for the first 5-10 minutes, and then maybe take over, and that's just not how isn't how it works. So. Yeah, it's a tough place to play in, and us seniors, juniors know that, and now the sophomores and the freshmen know that. So hopefully they can, bring that on to the next years and bring some success there.